It's time to fire Mike Norvell.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into Locked On Seminoles. This is the live show, the post-game show after the absolutely atrocious Florida State loss to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Tip of the cap to the Tar Heels. They were the far better team pretty much from the outset of this game. And to be honest with you, it's embarrassing all the things that I have written. I could have filled 2 pages in 10 minutes. I did like 11 things in less than 10 minutes that were major factors on why Florida State lost today, and it was easy. That is not a good sign. So I say once again, it is flat out time. Somebody needs to pony up, find a way. I don't care. I don't want to hear it on how much his buyout is. Norvell's got to go. My guess is somebody won't do it because the last I remember, it's over $60 million beginning of the season. I don't know what it is now, but it's just a joke now. The information that I'm about to showcase before I get into the chat, I'll get in there about 5-10 minutes into the show, is so ridiculous. A couple of the stats I've never seen before. I have followed football for 40 years. That is ridiculous. So without further ado, and before I even get into like the hardline stats here, just like some things that I went through and combined, came up with, and some pointers and questions, whatnot in general. But this is the one in particular that caught my attention. I am going to cut this out of the video and I'm going to post it to my basic X handle. I might retweet it on the Locked On Seminoles handle, but this is something you can't make up. Early in the third quarter, I'm checking the stats, going through, and the Seminoles give up their 6th. This is early third quarter now. Their 6th sack. I look down, I'm like, well, where's Florida State's passing at? They were 1 for 6. The 33-yarder to Hakeem set up a nice situation to score. That's great. They had that one completion. They had 6 attempts. They'd given up 6 sacks, and there were a few plays either Brock or Luke had taken off. So literally, in the second half of a football game, Florida State had given up more sacks and been forced to run more than they'd even had passing attempts. That's how atrocious the combination of the blocking, play calling, and execution on passing plays is for Florida State. This might be the worst offensive game plan / execution from what you would typically call an elite, tradition-rich college football program that I've ever seen. Clueless from the start. There's no one person that's fallible here. It's top to bottom. F-. That's number one. Number two, I don't remember this either. That was the offensive side that was horrendous. Here's the defensive one. I'm sure if you watch the game into the second half, Florida State's just like, the heck with it. Hampton's really good. We can't tackle well. We're going to go put one guy in the middle of the field and put 10 and up. 10. I see that and I'm like, wow, that is bizarre. This is like something you see against an elite recruit at running back and you don't have the athletes. You know, like, if they throw up, we're screwed, whatever, but we're just not going to get run over. Well, North Carolina just runs dive plays, getting 6, 8, 10, 12 yards. It gets 10-man fronts. 10. How is that possible? Unless your players are starting to quit. This is Mike Norvell's program. So as I opened tonight's postgame show, I say again, fire Mike Norvell. You hired the coaches. You made the missteps in a million ways with your roster, transfers and recruiting, retaining coaches that you shouldn't have, hiring them in the first place that you shouldn't have. It is on you. Worse, if you want to argue it, anybody in any way, shape, or form. In the Florida State administration, they went ahead and rehired Norvell to that contract. I understand why they re-upped him after a big year, but to my knowledge, they didn't give themselves an out. Let me give you an example why I bring this up. When Auburn hired Hugh Freeze, and obviously he had better track record in terms of just winning. I know he cheated like crazy at Ole Miss, but when Auburn hired him, if anything went wrong, they had a back-out plan. I'll give them credit. I read about this the other day. If they fire him, they pay out the duration of his contract, which sucks, but it's like in $5 million install. It doesn't just cripple them. It's not 10, 12 million. Like, it's way smaller. It's over time, blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit less or something. They figured out a back door for them. Has anybody looked at the contract or just flat nose if the Florida State administration did the same? Because right now, they are the laughing stock, not of college football, of any sport in the United States of America. Any sport in the United States of America. Name one that is more embarrassing than Florida State football after today. 10 men in the box, you can't stop the run. You have more passing plays that end in sacks or quarterback scrambles than you even have the attempted passing number, which was 6. There are a handful of runs by, again, Luke and Brock that weren't design runs, plus 6 sacks, and you were 1 for 6 passing for 33 yards in the third quarter. Pathetic. All right. Here's some of the other things that I want to note. Norvell's not alone here. Fire Adam Fuller. I'm done with that. He needs to go. Here's a stat for you that you can't make up. Last week, I get it. It's Cam Ward. He's a special player. Blah, blah, blah. Cam Ward 7 for 7 on third downs. It's Cam Ward. He might win the Heisman. Probably the front runner. Okay. But Jacoby Criswell, today, Jacoby 6 of 7 on third downs. 6 first downs. Your most talented position on the field, either side of the ball, is probably the secondary. Just raw athletes. You got a good DB coach back there, at least we thought. But on third downs, Florida State is the worst passing defense during their last 2 games in the United States of America. Horrendous. 6 out of 7 this week, and then when they played Miami, 7 out of 7. Come on. You can't tell me these players are bought in at this point. The touchdown to Omarion Hampton, that little, give Criswell credit. He flips it forward like a shovel pass. Okay. He turns around. He goes like, oh, there's nobody here. He goes through the entire defense untouched. This makes one of those bad movies that they used to do in the 80s that are like football movies. Bad News Bears baseball. The Little League look like an absolute Emmy winner. Shaheem Brown led the team in tackles, I believe, today. He's a pretty good player. He missed so bad on that play, it's not even something I can put into words. Horrendous. All right. Overall, I was screaming when I was watching the game. I put this down the list so I didn't start just blaring. This is the worst offensive line in major college football history, in my opinion. Prove me wrong. But here's another stat. I said it could go bad today in around 10 tackles for a while. That's exactly what the Tar Heels got, 10. And they called off the Dogs in the fourth quarter. 7 sacks. Some guy I'd never heard of had 4.5 sacks. Now, I know Mo was out today. That sucks. Darius there's no way he's healthy at left tackle. He's a shell of himself. I give him credit for trying to play. 0% chance that he should be in the lineup. 0. I don't know what's going on with that, but you could just watch. If you understand anything about pass pro, he's just vertical step and as slow as all get out. It's bad. And he's slow. And that's an athlete now. He's an athlete. One of my buddies is an O-line trainer. If he'd watched it today, he'd have fell out of his chair. Horrible. And then just the mental errors again. They've regressed, even from the Miami game. It's unbelievable. Back to Adam Fuller. Is it 6 games now? 0 turnovers created. That's almost impossible to do. Unless I've missed something, there are 3 turnovers created for the season. And we are 9 games in. So they are averaging 0.3 turnovers created per game. Really? I mean, even if you're a bad coordinator, even if you have just so players, talent-wise, they got better than that. I can assure you. I saw many of these guys in high school. I know where they were ranked in recruiting for a reason. Some of these kids had offers from Florida and Georgia and Miami and Tennessee, etc. How do you have 0.3 turnovers? That alone is a fireable offense as the DC. Flat out fireable. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Gone. The linebacker play today, the edge, the defensive ends were garbage at setting the edge. There were plays when they ran around the end, not only did the D end or the outside linebacker, the corners and safeties it was like a pasture where horses just running around free. Well, Marion Hampton's like, he had to have been laughing running down the field. For the game, let's see how many yards. This is not going to be a pretty stat. How many yards did they get? 55 carries for 289, 4 scores. The long was 43. They averaged 5.3, and that's sacks included. They had 1 sack. So they ran the most generic dive plays and stuff, and they had the trouble with the goal line. If it wasn't for the goal line plays, they'd have averaged 7 yards a carry. Oh, my God. It's ridiculous. This pathetic. Jacoby Criswell, solid quarterback, but he had a streak of 9 consecutive completions, by the way. It's ridiculous. He was 13 of 17 for 211 and a score 76%. He's a guy that it was just nobody coming into this. It's unbelievable. Let's see. I was listening to Norvell's press conference. This is the last thing. I'll go into a quick break and get into the chat. Norvell admits, like from practice, like surprised by how many times is he going to say that? Practice is not relating to the game. Because every time he does a press conference, we had good effort today. Thought we did good. Thought we were getting better. And then they come out and just completely lay it. Is he just lying even more than I anticipate that he lies? Like, this is just complete garbage. Florida State fans should absolutely, unequivocally be ready to, I would start sending in my tickets. I would mail them back to the athletic department, put the AD's name to, will not donate, will not come again until Mike Norvell is fired. Every single person should do that. Literally. Will not donate, will not attend a Florida State event again until Mike Norvell is fired. Send back your tickets. That's what I would do. I'll be back with more Locked On Seminoles. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even when those who aren't actively seeking a job might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, back here on Locked On Seminoles. I've given some of my thoughts. I got some more that I'll share, but it's time to jump into the chat a little bit. It's getting going, and I'm kind of curious, to be really honest, with what's going to happen here. I apologize to everybody I missed. I haven't even touched it yet. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, let's see what we got. Let's see here. Mark, Earth the Coach, Mike. Come on, Mike. Are you out there? We are not getting any readings. Yeah, that's well said, man, because this is just garbage. James, we can't block, tackle, or catch the ball. We are absolutely pathetic. James Fountain, 100% on the money, brother, because they are awful at everything they do pretty much, other than special teams. Kicker and punter, Fitz had another long one today, and the Mastromano was really good. Those two guys, people in those spots, no complaints. James, let's see. Now that's fun. Yeah, that's true. Brendan Green Anderson. This team quit today. Players are tuning out the coaches. No way Mike will get them back or get this program back. The damage is done and the word is out. What recruit or transfer would come here? You know, it's ironic that you mentioned that. It just so happens right here on my notepad, I've got something for you all here in just a minute. Probably going to make a lot of you angry, but it will help the exodus with the coaching staff. Wait for it. It's coming here in about 10 minutes on Locked On Seminole. Eric Edwards. Simple 3-word statement. Yeah, it's over. And he's right. Fire Mike Norvell. He sucks. He is absolutely a complete joke. The UNC running back had more yards than the entire FSU offense. Did he really? Let's see here. I think he might be right. Hampton had 172 on the ground, and Hampton had 93 yards receiving. Oh, boy. So for total yards, yes, he did. Florida State had 201 yards. God, that's the worst one they've had. I mean, and North Carolina's defense is not good. It's not. It's not sound. It's super aggressive, overly so. And they were running generic stunts, generic. And Florida State had no idea how to pick it up. Stuff you see in 7th and 8th grade. Literally. It's unbelievable. They give up and don't even play. Yeah, that's from Bull Ranger. Yeah, you're right. There were plays that guys just went through the motions. They didn't even care. Next year, it will be different. From Wayne Hairston. Wayne, crack is bad. Seek help. Bull Ranger, kicker is the best player. That could be the case. Which one? The kicker or the punter? Might be the two best players. They'd be hard to argue. NK, the UNC quarterback Kirk kept turning the corner on scrambles against FSU's front. Who didn't? Hampton did. Criswell did. The Jolly Green Giant did. Florida State didn't contain the edge once today. Knights of Zurich. Florida State has given up. Do you blame anybody for saying that if you're out there mad about it? Again, if you missed the opening part of the show, here's all you need to know. There were plays where Florida State was in a 10-man front on defense and was getting hammered with dive plays. How is that possible? They're in a goal line defense, basically. Completely garbage. Bull Ranger, Bobby is turning over in his grave, 100%. Ain't no argument there, bro. 100%. Let's see. NK, Mike becomes the first Florida State coach to lose to Mac. Another one for the record books for Mike. Mike's setting a lot of records that are absolutely embarrassing. You know, like 5 years from now, we're going to make Mike Norvell jokes, and it'll be cool. But right now, it's not cool. So he's so bad. It's just pathetic. Brendan Green Anderson, the DNs are a joke. We can't set the edge versus anyone. It's 100% true. Not even question. Knights of Zurich, you guys give up 31 points to Duke. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Florida State seems like the only football team that's gotten worse over the season. They haven't gotten worse. They've gotten much worse. NK, but otherwise, your point is correct. Knights of Zurich, FSU hit rock bottom and started digging. Garbage. Garbage. That is what they are. Oh, let's see here. Bull Ranger, we have no passion. That is true. T Hunt, bring back Jimbo. Oof. I don't know about all that. NK. Tired of hearing fans put their capes on for Fuller. He's not a good DC. Hasn't been for years. Yeah, fire Adam Fuller. He sucks. NK. UNC is bad. Poorly coached team itself. Florida State made them look like a top 10 team. He is right. They do not consistently do what they should in coverage. Have guys out of position, etc. Like Luke Romanhawk he's a guy I know. He's a good guy. He was just insanely bad today. But even though Glenn had a few nice plays, he's still not ready either. And the O-line's so bad, it wouldn't matter if you had Joe Montana circa 1988. Wouldn't matter. So, yeah, those are just a few of the points. Roy Peterson Jr. I'll be in Tallahassee tomorrow flying my Hurricanes flag. You could fly a Little League flag and it'd be more important than Florida State's right now, brother. Warren Hester, this is interesting. Norvell just quit having press conferences. To be honest, I'd be okay with that because his are every week. It really is the same crap. Okay, because this, I will take a break after this, but he says, "Oh, today was good practice." This and that. It's same crap every day. Then after the game, after they get smoked, I didn't see from practice to the game. Well, you're condemning yourself and/or you're lying, and probably both. You suck. You should resign now because you are an embarrassment to Florida State in college football, and it's a lie. You are not a good football coach. You got lightning in a bottle last year. It's been proven. It is over. Deal with it, man. Florida State football is in the worst shape of maybe any program that I can think of in my lifetime that's a major program. It's unbelievable. More Locked On Seminoles after this. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even when those who aren't actively seeking a job might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, let's get back into the chat. I can't imagine how next week's going to go. They play Notre Dame. Think it'll be close? Oh boy, that could be 70-0. Notre Dame needs style points to move up in the rankings to get into the playoff and get a good seed. It seriously could be 70-0. It really could. Stacy knows this team going to finish 2-10. I have a quibble with that. Notre Dame and Florida, no way. Florida State, worst team in college football, major college football it is. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's not a lock they beat Charleston Southern. It's not. This team is starting to quit. Why would you consider anybody a guaranteed win at this point? Yes, Charleston Southern is on the table for the L column. Yes, it is. Maury, Mike Norvell must be abusing drugs. At least he'd have an excuse because this is just unfathomable. Eric Edwards, I'd rather have Jimbo. Well, I'd almost rather have a mop head at this point. This is ridiculous. Like they can't do anything other than kick the field goal or punt the football. Maury, no way a team can fall off like this in one season. Well, it's happening. Maury, I mean, it's hard to fathom. I understand 100% what you're saying. But they are so bad, it's just not even something you can put into perspective. It's insane. This is just, it's incredible. It's so bad. I usually do a couple of shows on Sunday. I'm going to do one, just kind of culminate things. It'll be pretty brief. Some overall things that because of about what I'm about to say, go into it a little bit more, but I'm going to kind of let it rest because Notre Dame week, there's no reason to break Notre Dame down beyond some basic stuff because they're going to obliterate Florida State. It's important for them, again, to get style points. So I'm not going to do as much of that this week. It's going to be more about team, big picture administration. But they have fallen off, Mr. Maury, and it's insane. Bull Ranger, Norvell's, well, obviously, as always says, his press conference, he's not a well-spoken man. I'm a decent public speaker when I give a speech in front of people or I do one of these podcasts, but I'm better at it than Norvell. What does that tell you? He's a nice guy, but he's not really well-spoken. It's odd to me that that's the case. He's really not. Drugs is the only thing that can explain it, Maury. It might be, man. I don't know what the deal is, but it's pretty bad. Knights of Zurich, Maury, and yet, I mean, could it get worse? If they get beat by Charleston Southern, that would be worse. Here's a good point from Eric Edwards. And I said this right before the last break, and I'm steadfast. If you have season tickets, if you got paraphernalia in the mail, donate to this. I'm serious. I would send it back, address it to the AD, will not donate again until Norvell is fired. A to B, no ifs, no ands, no buts. And you have to follow through with it. Period. It is that time. Not assistant coaches, Norvell. Not a dime. Not one penny. Just flow. How about a couple of lawsuits? Maybe you'll get some wins. Well, I don't think they're going to win at those right now, the way things are going. I don't know if Florida State could win it at coin toss. They don't have anything going for them. NK. Mike is about the worst head coach in Power 4, probably. Maybe the only Cal head coach is worse. I think he's a better coach. He's not a very good recruiter, but he's a better coach. But nonetheless. What do we got here? David Evie. Not the LinkedIn Jobs ad after he said Norvell should be fired. That's funny. It's just the ad I have to read, but that is funny. Well done.